find. Glad to see that I could help make your life a bit easier. But have you ever thought of how I felt? You need to think about your behavior.
Well, you got me, boys and girls. Yes, you got Butch On Sports, a special Sunday edition of Butch On Sports. I don't know what it's brought to you by, but hey, brought to you by me, Butch On Sports. Indeed, we will go over a whole heck of a lot of sports news and whatever is left that I could talk about here for your dining and dancing pleasure. Thanks for tuning in, boys and girls, again on Butch On Sports here. Let's have at it here with a one and a two and get you some sports news that you can't get enough of here. We'll pull up my board here where all my notes and stuff are confined and get to talking to you here right now here on Butch On Sports. First and foremost, before we get into all the other hoopla, the brouhaha, stuff like that there, let's congratulate all the state winners in high school sports there, in wrestling, in swimming, diving, and a whole lot more here. Yesterday was the finals of the basketball for the young men, boys, whatever you want to call it there, in your neck of the woods here. Congratulations to Ypsilanti Lincoln in Division One. They beat Detroit Jesuit 64-62. Division Two, Hudsonville Unity Christian beat River Rouge in a squeaker 58-55. Division 3, Pewamo-Westphalia 53, Iron Mountain 52. Close games indeed on those three games. And of course the blowout game was the first game was Southfield Christian 63, Frankfort 39. Congratulations to all the participants in that, and especially the winners of their state and their division. It used to be A, B, C, and D. Now it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can you get to that? Again, congratulations to them all there. The Red Wings they managed to eke out their second victory in 14 games. They topped the Islanders yesterday by a score of 2-1. Andreas Antusias, he had both goals in the game. Jonathan Bernier had a good goaltending in front of him, with a kind of a bent down, breakdown type of lineup for the Detroit Red Wings. Again, you're not going to see a whole heck of a lot of mush and smush, but again, they put up a great effort there on St. Patrick's Day. And of course, the Detroit Pistons played today, and a great Blake Griffin. He was kind of leaked off on the last game they played. That game was the Los Angeles Lakers game. That, by the way, the Pistons did win 111-97. He was just not pleased with the team's performance in that particular game because their whole team, the LA Lakers, including LeBron James, did not play. A lot of the players were depleted, and they really didn't give a defining effort in the particular. But the day they played down there at the Little Caesars Arena, and Blake Griffin scored 25 points. Andre Drummond, 15 points, 17 rebounds. The Pistons beat the Toronto Raptors 107-101 on Sunday. They swept the Toronto Raptors. Believe this. The Pistons sweep the Toronto Raptors. Now, you can sweep the Toronto Raptors, which are one of the elite teams in the NBA. Think about it, boys and girls, what I could be saying at this moment, and I won't because it's Sunday. Moving on here, the bracket busters and the brackets are now have been released. You're not going to go through a whole heck of a lot of those particulars there, but we will talk about the in-state participants. The University of Michigan, they are number 2 in the West. And yes, Michigan State is number 2 in the East. And I'll kind of break up some monotony here and have some conversation on this particular one for a moment here as I kind of bring up my board and try to be reasonable about this particular situation here. Michigan State, of course, they're going to be playing number 15, Bradley. And that, well, I don't have the days of that particular there. I do believe that the Michigan State game is on a Friday. University of Michigan, on the other hand, they'll be playing on a Thursday night. I think in San Jose, they'll be playing number 15, Montana. Of course, the seeds were already, to me, they're already defined. Okay, Duke is the number 1 seed in the East. In the West Division, or the West Region, they should say, Gonzaga already put down their number 1 seed there. The South Region is Virginia. The Midwest Region is North Carolina. Now, you know, I can say a lot about this particular and how they do this stuff here, and I'm not going to really be in need because this is one of the times that the teams who deserve to be in there, they did get in. Yes, they did get in. So I'm not going to be too squeamish about it. I can, but I won't. Of course, my alma mater, University of Oregon, will be playing Wisconsin. And what better team to play if you're the University of Oregon, because Wisconsin is just beat up. And if they can get it together in a week, that probably will be a very, very, very good game. But right now, Oregon's going to be, because I'm going to be rooting for them anyway, Oregon is going to get some good plays in that particular one against Wisconsin. Again, Wisconsin is kind of beat up and dragged out there with injuries and just playing some heady basketball these last weeks here. The one Big Ten team that was on the edge in, looking in, Indiana did not make it. Of course, they beat Michigan State twice. Of course, they didn't make it, so I'm quite sure Indiana will be in the NIT. And I think the NIT reserve, they're going to be released late tonight. When we're doing this show right now, is around in the area about 7:30 or a little bit after. But again, you can go to your website there late tonight, early tomorrow. I'm quite sure you'll get the NIT settings. And, of course, those brackets that you want to fill on out there and on many formats on the internet from sports pages on down. We'll have them all set up for you there. We will have a special show on Tuesday afternoon about the brackets. Who did you pick? Go down the lineup of all the teams that's going to be playing in the in games and the out games and in between games, and maybe make some picks. Maybe on my end of the game. We're all not perfect, but again, you can agree or disagree and have some fun with this particular there like we do every single doggone year with these brackets here. And, of course, it's fun for me. It's always fun for me, of course. Again, the in-state colleges in Michigan State, they're number 2 in the East. Michigan is number 2 in the West. The National Football League, early this week, they started their house cleaning on free agency here. A total of 541 players were free agents and were able to negotiate with all the other 32 teams in the National Football League on where they wanted to go, who wanted to pick them, and all this other good stuff there. I can talk about the Detroit Lions. They pulled free agent O'Day Aboshi and also free agent safety Andrew Adams were were signed by the Detroit Lions early this week. And we got some several more that I'm going to name here. Cornerback Justin Coleman. He had 2 seasons with Seattle. He's with the Detroit Lions now. Trey Flowers, defensive end, who spent 4 years with the New England Patriots. He is now a Detroit Lion, signed, sealed, and delivered. Tight end Jesse James. That was a huge surprise for me. They got him from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jesse James just plain and simple said, I was tired of Pittsburgh and their stuff, and he just wanted to get out of here, and he did, and he felt he's coming to a team right now that he can make some ample contributions. We do have a tight end now who has some very good hands, huge in size and stature, can block very well, also catch the ball very well, and is a force on the offensive totem pole for the Detroit Lions. If they go to him a lot and much, they should, when they have no one open and delayed there. And necessarily so, don't necessarily have to go on the ends. I mean, the left end or the right end. They can go down the middle of the field and get someone there who's high in stature. And they just get the ball to them. Can pick up some significant yardage and do some great things in keeping the offense honest. We'll keep you abreast of any other picks that the Detroit Lions get, like Danny Amendola, that I did forget to mention, was one of the first who signed with the Detroit Lions as a free agent there. Also, they have re-signed Zach Zenner for a 1-year contract extension, and also defensive end Romeo Anwawu for a 2-year contract extension there, indeed, for the Detroit Lions. So I'm quite sure they're not through picking and digging and whipping. There's a lot more free agents there to be picked, and they will be probably filling up the rosters and the lineups via that, or again free agency, or maybe some college players, and maybe hopefully go up to the Canadian Football League and get some of those players. And of course the AAL Football League that's ongoing right now have football players looking at their shoes. Not a lot of attention for that league at this present moment, except for the weekend, but I'm quite sure during the season end, I'm quite sure many NFL teams will be picking some of those players off those rosters as well. The Atlanta Falcons and the Denver Broncos will be kicking off the National Football League 100th season, where the National Football League was born in Canton, Ohio. That's for the 2019 Hall of Fame game. That's going to be on Thursday, August the 1st, 8 o'clock p.m. at the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Tom Benson, of course, was the owner of the New England, not New England Patriots, but the New Orleans Saints. Of course, he was born in Canton, Ohio, which was Tom Benson's birth home. And they changed the stadium immediately after his death last year. Fans get invited to join the second annual Jack Daniels season opening party at Little Caesars Arena as part of the Tigers home opener on Thursday, April the 4th. Free outdoor activities opening from 8 a.m. until the conclusion of the Tigers home opener prior to 7:30 when the Muse concert at Little Caesars Arena will be taking place that particular evening. The Tigers and the Kansas City Royals will be the showcase game. And, of course, everybody's going to be outside. That's like a free day for the downtown Detroit. All kind of businesses and restaurants and eateries are going to be open. And, of course, I just mentioned Little Caesars Arena with their 4 restaurants will be open very early in the morning to late that evening to give those special beverages and food discounts and all this other stuff. Again, the first pitch of that particular game for the season opener, a home opener, I should say. Season opener would begin in March, late March, but the home opener for Detroit Tigers this year will be May the 4th. That begins at 1:10 p.m. The Red Wings agreed to terms to Michigan State forward Tyrone Hensrose for a entry-level contract deal. He led the nation in points per game, assists, multi-point games this season. Red Wings also signed Princeton forward Ryan Kuffner to a entry-level deal. The all-time leader in scoring at Princeton, led this season in points per game and fourth in the country with 22 goals. And of course, the Grand Prix, we have not talked about a whole heck of a lot there, but the Grand Prix will be rocking and rolling on June the 2nd this year, right after Labor Day weekend there. You'll be swinging right into the Grand Prix, and which next year at this time, you'll not only have the Grand Prix jigging and jagging through the city of Detroit, but also you'll have the auto show going on practically the same time all this is commencing there. But this year, Stone Temple Pilots will be rocking and rolling at the Grand Prix on June the 2nd. One of the most iconic bands over the last 25 years. They'll be on the final day of the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear, as Stone Temple Pilots will be hosting a matinee concert on Sunday, June the 2nd, at Belle Isle. That should be maybe immediately after the race, or they did not give a time, or would be in the midterm of the race. I know the race goes national on ABC at 3:30 p.m., so we'll say maybe a little bit after. Stone Temple Pilot will be on stage after that event has commenced to do a mini concert of some songs that you can enjoy for your dining and dancing pleasure there, while you try to catch the bus and get off the island and get back home, which is always something of an event to see, or don't want to be bothered with here. You know, me, of course, I've been to many of them, and it's always a chore. You get off the island after all this is over, after all the interviews, and spending practically 4 of the days of that particular week and end week on the island to have some fun and watch the race car drivers and all the lunches and goodies and everything else that we given during that particular time of the Grand Prix there. So I give you that, including. Now, we will have a special Butch on Sports on Tuesday afternoon. Yes, Tuesday afternoon, boys and girls. We'll be posting a podcast, special Butch on Sports podcast. We'll be talking mainly about the seeds for the March Madness that will begin actually Tuesday, well, Monday really, with the end games there on Monday and Tuesday. A little travel day, and then they get it all started on Thursday afternoon, 12 p.m. Until the just falls apart all that weekend. 'Cause every game, all 32 games between Thursday and Sunday will be televised on CBS, TBS, TNT, and another station, I forgot there. True TV. Yes, True TV will be the other recipient of all those particular games and the times they come on. You'll get to see all those games live, in color. If you got one of them special TV sets, you can set up maybe 4 or 5 of the games going on at one time, or stack the TVs on top of each other, or send one outside, send one inside, and whatever you want to do. Just make a party of the whole situation there. It's basketball all the way from 12 o'clock noon to around about maybe 1 o'clock in the morning every single day, those 4 days. Then after that, it lightens up a little taste there with the Elite Eight, which will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And, the Sweet 16, I should say, first. Then the Elite Eight. Then the finals will all be on next week on CBS Sports. 3 weeks of basketball that you just can't get enough of will be on the air for your dining and dancing pleasure, boys and girls. I am quite sure, if we're on the air tomorrow, and I think we are. We'll be on the air tomorrow, so we can talk about all this good stuff on the game That show starts at 6 o'clock on WUPN 95.1 The Eagle. Yours truly will be starting his little bit on around about 6:40, 6:45. He'll be getting himself together and doing this thing. I'm talking about me, along with Scott Nason, Kathy, and a host of Million who'll be on the show to give you some update versions. We'll probably be talking about some basketball, some other in-house news, and of course the brackets, maybe the National Football League, some hockey, some basketball, pro that is, because no more high school basketball except for the women that'll be coming up this upcoming weekend. Don't want to leave them out. Of course, they got a week late because of the NCAA's will be starting the women's basketball tournaments also next week as well. I am done. Toasty. Finish. Butch On Sports is a presentation of All My Darling Productions. You can check out Butch On Sports on Facebook. Here, go to Butch On Sports on Facebook. Tap me on in there and listen to the podcast is there. You can also go to Podomatic. Type in simplybuttchtoo.podomatic.com and get the podcast is also there. You can also be available on the game, their website. Scott Nason and company will kind of follow a lot of you along with what's going on in the world of sports, including myself there, and some other choice shows like the Sports Center show, and a whole lot more will be featured on that website. You can also go to Podbean and also get those particulars too, as well as YouTube. We didn't talk about no wrestling this week. We might talk about a little bit of that on Tuesday. We're talking about WrestleMania. We ain't got to deal with no more of the goodies there on the home front for that. So, hey, just beware. I'm done. I'm over with it. Hey, have a rest of a great weekend there. Hey, Tuesday afternoon, boys and girls. We'll talk about it.